A pleasant good evening to everyone.
Thank you.
Glad to see you all here again. I trust that your week has been an enjoyable one so far, and that the long weekend will make it even more exciting and enjoyable. Um, some of you may have realized that we are coming to a close soon, and that things will have to wrap up at some point in time. I really enjoy our sessions, having an audience to chat with and so on a Thursday
Yeah.
is a enticing thing. and um, and I just want to let you know that on Thursday coming, we will be having our final session.
Okay.
Yeah, and in that session, what we will do, we'll have an open session so that we can all talk and show whatever we learn if we want to do something like that, or if you just want to talk from your experience of what the class has been like and so on, ways that we could improve, because we must look for that too, and which I could improve, you know. So we look at all of that. The certificates is printed and ready. It's only to get to pastor now for him to put his final approval on it. And we'll have to have a little session where we will take some photos and graduate, you know.
Yeah, we do something. Come
Yeah.
on. We
So,
are more than 10 people,
so
right? So,
no, but but although Thursday coming is our last online, that
yeah.
one may be our final wrapping up, maybe at
Okay.
church or so, and
All right.
on a day convenient to everybody.
All
I
right.
think that is important. Zoom, most of us know to use Zoom and so on, and how to share the screen and share a song and so on, and all of that. I have a video that I said I wanted to share with you last week. Remember, I played one with
Right.
Kelvin Doe
Mm-hmm.
from Sierra Leone,
Sierra Leone,
and
yeah.
I think this evening, since we don't have as much people and so on, and not so much to fill in, but it will help demonstrate the sharing of the screen and sharing of that particular video.
My name is Kelvin Doe, aka DJ Focus. I was born on the 26th October, 1996. I am a proud Sierra Leonean. I live in a small community town in Freetown called the Wazak Farm. I am the youngest in a family of 5 children. I was raised up single-handedly by my mother. Her resilience and self-belief made it possible for me to be alive today. My creative instincts were always present, even as a little kid. I would dream that I was installing battery power lights at the homes of my neighbors. But I didn't make much of it at the time because I was too young to understand the meaning of my dreams. As a young boy, I could care less. At the age of 11, I entered junior secondary school, which I think you say junior high school in America. I started picking up scrap electronic items from trash areas on my way home because I was too poor to afford new parts, and my only option was to go around trash areas and find parts that I needed. And once I got the part that I want, I would go to bed at around 7 p.m., and I would wake up after midnight when everybody was asleep. My mother would wake up most nights to see our living room transform into a small electronic scrapyard. And she will insist that I go back to bed. as I was just wasting my time on these scrap items. Though she meant no harm, she didn't understand where I was going. As I was just following my passion, she was just concerned for my well-being. Yeah. When I realized that with scrap, I could still make things work by putting the pieces that I found, I started fixing radios for people in my community for free. In places like my community in Sierra Leone, the most valuable asset is a radio. A radio will serve as a main source of news, music, and family entertainment. But I took in many, many radios that I can fix. After repeatedly failing to make good on my promise to fix the radio for an old man, he came angrily one morning to take back his radio, only for me to discover that I had lost the radio. The old man then got very angry, and he even wanted to beat me up. I went to my friend's house to hide, and my mother got even angrier and asked me to stop fixing radios for people. And this was the end of my radio maintenance business. So I decided to focus on working on scrap electronic parts. I used parts like resistor, transistor, capacitor, diodes, cardboards to build my own circuit board. I ended up building a 3-channel mixer, a sound amplifier, and a microphone receiver. Putting all of these together, I discovered I had built a music set. I soon became a DJ, and I took the name DJ Focus. DJ Focus. So, I want you all to say DJ Focus. DJ Focus. DJ Focus. DJ Focus. I believe whenever I'm doing my inventions, I always stay focused. So, I started playing music for people in my community whenever they have small parties like birthday, naming ceremony, and I will normally DJ like this. Stand up, the great philosopher in the building, baby. It's the biggest, the hottest, the famous DJ in the whole municipality. Kicking real game banging. This is the biggest heavyweight group. It's still in the making, baby. It's the nation pride. Beyond your imagination, it's the most wanted DJ. I DJ Man Focus. And also, there is another Sierra Leonean version, which goes like this. It's the youngest DJ. This DJ too young, but sabi play good music. Know how to play good lyrics. This DJ damn too serious. It not get virus. DJ Man Focus. and people started giving me tips for my services. But most of the money that I earned, I spent it on battery. So I decided to make my own battery. I took an alkaline battery apart, and I looked at its components, and then tried to make mine. After failing several times, I went to my uncle, who helped me to make the first battery for my music set. And I was now able to make a couple of batteries for people in my neighborhood. At the age of 14, I started thinking about what I could do that could be bigger than my music set. I love listening to DJs on radio station. I love their music and also the way they play on the station. I dreamt of one day being on a radio like them. Then it came to me that I can make my own radio station and become a DJ there. This was how I set out to do something that has never been done before in my community. It was tough and hard. I spent many frustrating nights, trying and failing. But nevertheless, I persevered until I completed the project. Almost 16 months later, one morning, I told my elder brother that I was ready to do a test transmission of my radio station. He just laughed at me. So I tuned the old radio that was inside our living room, and I told my elder brother to talk on the microphone whilst I climbed up the roof of our house to fix up the antenna. A few minutes later, my station was on, And I could not believe what I have done. Word soon spread around my community about my radio station. I got 2 of my friends to work on the station with me as a DJ. So when people bring in jingles, I think you call them radio advert. To be played on air, they will pay me 5,000 leones, which is around $1.25. And I will give my DJs 1,000 leones, less than 50 cents, and I will keep the rest of the money to invest in my station. Because I am the manager, and in case anything happens. But I ran into trouble when I discovered that my broadcast signal on 94.5 was jamming that of a famous station in Sierra Leone. My mother was so afraid, and she told me to take my station off the air so that I will not be arrested by the police. Fortunately for me, I changed my frequency, and I was able to keep the station on air. Then the fame started. The national television station in Sierra Leone soon heard about what I had done and put me on air for a live demonstration. And I was then hosted on a popular motivational show, Live by Design, and they also helped me get a scholarship to continue with my education. Then came a national innovation competition called Innovate Salon 2012, hosted by Global Minimum. I won one of the star prizes, and the founder of Global Minimum hosted me live on Google Hangout, and I got selected to participate in the 2012 World Maker Fair in New York City. Then an amazing opportunity came to me, and I became the youngest visiting practitioner at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. And I was also privileged to meet the president of Harvard University as a young boy. I could not believe it. Just keep up, just keep the faith. And David Sanger, the founder of Global Minimum and Innovate Salon, got Tinker to do a video of my story, which was later posted on YouTube. At the latest count, this video has had more than 4.1 million views. And, and I was now forced to make an organization called TIO, Talented Intellectual Organization. So we go to different schools, talk about inventions and innovation. Yeah. Somebody mentioned to me that my video was even more popular than that of President Obama's victory speech after his re-election, which had 2.9 million views. Imagine. Since then, my story has been carried on news channels around the world, and I am greatly humbled and delighted by this. And if I'm asked to summarize the lessons of my life so far, there is one thing that I will say. Creativity is universal and can be found in places where one does not expect to find it. And perseverance and passion are essential to nurturing that creative ability. I believe passion comes from the inside, not from the outside. Although my mother was skeptical of my invention at first, I learned perseverance from my mother because as a single parent, she persevered to give me opportunities that led me to create solutions I developed. If I had not persevered and followed my passion, I would not have been able to make use of my talent. My happiest time is when I am making electronic things for myself, my family, and for my community. So now that you know my own story, I urge you to look for young people with talent, creative abilities, and passion in all places. Not just in places you might expect to find it. And I ask you to support these young people, just as so many people have supported me. You never know, you might find the next DJ Focus. Thank you. Focus! DJ Focus! DJ Focus!
When we decided to close up our business in 2014 and come home, somewhere along now, God is working all the while, eh?
Yes.
And I saw this video and I became so fascinated with it. I bookmarked it. I didn't want to lose this, you know. And I went further and found the other videos and so on. But I found some very interesting things in this young man. As he said, perseverance and that drive. And you know, they say necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
If you're in need, people in need, people who have, they don't need to invent anything, but people who have, they go ahead and invent.
Yeah.
And when I saw that he was such a young person and did such a thing, I thought to myself, you know what? If we could set up our organization to work with young people and channel their mind and their energy, because while you're young, while a person is young, they have a good storehouse of energy. This is the way God has done it and made things. And as the Bible says, we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
And at that time, the mind is programmed to absorb. It is programmed to take in.
Yeah.
And if you notice a curious child or a curious young person, don't kill that curiosity in him. Because some of what this young man went through is what I went through. I remember interfering with my grandmother clock and spoiling it. Opening the radio. When they found me with the radio open, they said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for the little man inside of it." Thought it had little people inside of it talking. And so I remained curious for the rest of my life. And still curious today, you know, in a good way. And I think it's important. But one of the reasons I showed this is the way to share your video. You know, well, of course, we went through all of that already. And what I normally do is double click on the file, let it start to play, then pause it, bring it back to the end. You know, you start the file playing, pause it, bring it back so that the video will start from the beginning, minimize it so that it goes down into the taskbar, and then you go to the share screen. And when you click on share and you choose the video player, whether it's VLC media player, what will happen? And you press share, that will come up big on the screen, and then all you have to do now is press play, and you're already playing your video. So that's one of the reasons. I decided to share that. So it fit in with the lesson, and then there is a good lesson in it for us to learn and keep in mind, especially in this tech thing as we go and work along. What causes success? And I found something that says preparation and opportunity. So when you're prepared and the opportunity does come, you'll be successful. So you prepare for whatever you're going to do. It might look like you're preparing in vain, but don't think that. The day will come when you'll shine. The day will come. You know, and there's another saying I'll tell you. Those who soar, I should say, those who soar like an eagle look small in the eyes of those who cannot fly. It's something worth thinking about. Eh? When you could soar like an eagle in the air, and the people who are on the ground look at you, oh, he's a small guy. And I'll tell you what is small, when they think about small, when you have humility, when you're a meek and quiet person, and you don't show up yourself, you don't want to show up how good you is at this thing and then fail. But sometimes the very meek and quiet people are the ones, especially people who are constructive, they are the ones that will do marvelous things. Sometimes they keep the world going.
One of the things I observe with a young man is that he is a very good speaker also.
Yes, yes.
right? And
Um,
you know, he tells his story well.
mhm.
You know, and as you say, he you know, he has that ability, um, you know, of getting a good crowd attention. Also, he used
Yeah,
the right words, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
When
yeah,
you discover a diamond, it may not look all the best.
you know,
Yeah, so the
it's
people
something
who
serious.
discover him, the
Mm-hmm.
people who discover him are experts in what is happening there.
Yeah.
He's natural raw talent, but
Mm-hmm.
these experts are the ones working with him.
The
They're not the
channeling,
diamonds. They just have to work with the diamond,
yeah, channeling his
channeling
energies
his
in the
energies and whatnot
right
in the right way.
direction.
Alicia, you saw anything that you like about it?
He is very persistent in what he is doing.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
He doesn't give up.
So,
Even though mommy come around with the belt and she said, boy, go to bed.
yeah.
Yeah, he stay
Uh,
up still.
the only
Yeah.
thing, the only thing that when he said that come to mind where I am concerned, I
Mhm.
remember it was about either between 8 and 10, and
Yeah,
my mother, my mother nearly faint when she came and she saw me this monster stove,
right.
Gosh.
and yeah,
Yeah,
and I had to put it back.
yeah,
Yeah, she but the licks was waiting, you know, so I put it back and it
yeah,
was working, so I didn't get licks.
yeah,
Yeah. When I was young, I was like that. I was
yeah.
curious and I will dismount something and put it back.
Well, when I unmounted my grandmother's clock, they tell me go ahead and fix it back. And I had as much time to fix it as I wanted. And brother, I fought with it. I sweat. I did all kind of things. And I cry and whatever because I couldn't really finish it because there was this mainspring, and every time I roll the mainspring up properly, it will just
uh,
and fly
and it
open.
fly back.
And I couldn't get it.
Um,
And nobody will help me. They said nobody put your hand to help him. So that was my punishment because if somebody had just come and hold it there while I tried to get it where it had to go,
yeah.
we would have get it solved. But my punishment was to put it back together by myself. So sometimes it's a good lesson. You learn certain things,
Yeah.
not to
Mm-hmm.
tamper with the wrong things and so on. Last week I wanted to play both of those videos, but I know it will take up some time and all of that. And the class is not so much on motivation, but on
Hmm.
teaching the technology. But
Yeah.
I was saying when we came back home in 2014 and set up home here where we set up the studio where I am right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, we were looking at what we could do, and we thought about it, and that's where we came up with this website. Besides our other website, which is Ambassador Weddings, we
Right.
have this one, which is Digital Express, and which is now to the forefront of what we're doing, where we want to help the Christian community, and we want to work with young people. Um, Once they're interested in technology, we will start them off with something, whatever direction they will go in later
Yeah.
on, we
Yeah.
can't say. But it gives us the opportunity to get in their life and
Mm-hmm.
probably talk a few things like what I talk on an evening and so on,
Right.
and tell them about another way of life that brings happiness and a certain type of success that the world may not consider success, but it
Mm-hmm.
is in the final analysis the best success that you could have. This evening, I had a little something to say to you all here, and I think maybe I should cover that so we wouldn't go too late. Um, the thing is, I want to talk about
Like
you
this.
as being ambassadors. You are ambassadors, and I'm going to tell you why you are ambassadors. The day when when you first took their calling to become a believer, you became an ambassador. And I don't want to delve into that part too much, but I want to tell you, in this particular dispensation, when you took this new calling to become this person to help operate what you're operating in the church, you now become ambassador for your church, for your organization. Now, when you look at ambassador, ambassador doesn't go to a foreign country, and when they say, hey, your country is a bad place, and he say, yes, I second that. He doesn't do that. An ambassador speaks on behalf of his country. You understand? And when the day when it comes that he cannot do that anymore, he then resigns or whatever. But that is what an ambassador does. And so you are ambassador in your following, in what you did, and now you're choosing to do this, and you become an ambassador. Now, I'm telling you this because what you're going to be dealing with, we didn't cover Facebook and so on, but the time will come when you'll have to post something to Facebook. Part of this program is to reach out to new people out there. Because if you look at your church, you look at my church, we look at all the churches, they're not as big as they used to be. And now with this new media, we have to find a way to use that to reach the people out there. We have to be able to work with them and their understanding, and the younger people, they use social media a lot. And there are people who are searching, but I'm saying this thing is to get a certain message out there that will help people change their life.
That's right.
And I'll tell you about my life a little bit. When I became serious about becoming a Christian, I discovered that I was going totally wrong. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing major crimes. But as far as Christianity was concerned, I was wrong in everything that I do. And so this is where repentance comes in. And no, I had loved my friends. You know, as a young person, you love your friends. Your circle of friends is what keeps you there. And so I thought I could keep my friends. But soon I discovered that I couldn't keep my friends, because their goals, their aims, their desires in life was not in line with what mine was becoming. But when you accept the challenge of becoming a part of this course, this class, you had accepted the honor to become an ambassador. Think of yourself as that. I wish Timmy was here and Brother Lester was here, but somehow we will get the word to them. And to be a true ambassador, you have to follow that teaching that you had gotten, you know, and live that life. And I spoke about the media that we use today to teach and so on, and to reach out to people. Facebook, YouTube, and these types of things. And I know some of you go back and look at this sermon on Facebook and so. And when you go there, you look at the numbers of people that looked at it, the number of views it had, and you will see what is happening. Now, this is going to grow, because in our church where we are, I will tell you, when we went there, the church was about 40 people. Our church was about 40 people. Today, the church is bigger than the amount of people that could fit on Zoom. So we not only have it on Zoom, because when we reach 100 on Zoom, that's the package the church pays for. That's the end of it. But what we have it is also on Facebook. And our Facebook goes up to 100 and something also. So you see, it's growing from an organization that was just about 40 people in it. So I'm saying that this could be happening. It could be a way of
Yeah.
reaching out to
Time
people.
to,
Yeah.
in time to come, yes. It
Yeah.
will grow.
In my understanding, the best tool for making disciples, it's the life we live. And the more close we live our life in resemblance in the pattern of life that Christ lived, we are going to be disciple makers.
Yeah.
We're not making disciples for ourselves, but
No,
for God's work.
God.
So I hope I didn't sound too much like a pastor this evening and so on. But I like to touch on these things because they are important for me, important in my heart and my mind. Your relationship with other people. And another thing I was going to say, you know, when we meet somebody for the first time, we treat them real nice because we don't know them, you know. And soon after we start to discover, I'm saying, and we start treating them a little less nice. We ain't too concerned about meeting them again. But we should look at that as a Christians, because I see it happening in the church. You have the welcoming committee, you know, and when you come in the church, it's so nice, the warmest greeting you could get. And pretty soon, when you get stale there, you're no longer the Johnny come lately. So there's no great welcoming committee to welcome you. But we have to have that, because I said to my pastor one time, I said, Pastor, you know, you know, the hallmark of a Christian is that love one another as I have loved you. And when we have that, and when we exercise that, when we show that, what we are showing is like we wearing a badge. No other thing could say I'm a Christian, you know. But by that love you have for one another, so shall all men know that you are my disciples.
Disciples. That's right.
Yeah. So it's just another little thought that popped into my mind, and I thought I should say it. Love is not an easy thing. It's hard work, you know. To love people is a lot of hard work.
It
doesn't have to be hard, eh?
Yeah.
Once you submit to the Spirit of God, who has shed abroad in our hearts the love of God, it becomes easy to love other people. If when it becomes hard, I find is when you resist what God has said and you simply operate from the standpoint of your own selfishness. You then find it difficult. And because in loving someone, you may have to give up your own personal preferences. And most of us don't like to do that. But if we live our lives yielded to God, the Holy Spirit, and then
that is quite true.
That becomes second nature. You have to think about it. You simply do.
But I say that in the sense of, you know, to tell people that it's not the normal love that we think about, but it is a different love. You know, it's a self-sacrificing love. But it's quite true. The more you yield yourself to Christ, the more that love will be manifested in you, in the individual. Because there's no other way to go but that way.